Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 26, 2024 meeting of the Penfield Planning Board. We'll begin the meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone, thanks for coming. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Hetzke,
Hetzke here.
Aken,
Aken here.
Burton,
Burton here.
Sangster,
Sangster here.
Weisar,
Weisar here.
O'Connor,
O'Connor here.
Prinzing
here.
Perigno here.
Okay, we have minutes from the last meeting. There's I just have one comment on them. The filet in Chick-fil-A has one L, not two.
Okay. Duly
But-
noted, thank you.
That could have been auto-corrected, yep.
That's probably a spell check or something like that. Auto correct. Auto incorrect.
Yes, thank you.
We
So-
can make that change.
Hopefully everybody's had an opportunity.
Pending the major revisions to that document, I move to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
Okay. Doug, do you want to run through our agenda items?
Okay, yep. Agenda item number 1 is for tabled sketch plan reviews is Chick-fil-A at 2051 Fairport 9 Mile Point Road. We have a sketch letter drafted based on the comments of the hearing. I think we have sort of 10 points that we go over in the sketch letter. The biggest one's based on the conversation at the public hearing is providing a turning template that will confirm that emergency vehicles and largest vehicle in Penfield Fire District's fleet can make its way around the whole project. Providing a traffic management plan, traffic calming elements, especially where the drive-through lanes exit into the main parking area to reduce conflicts. We do have a copy of the drawing from Jim that will be included with the sketch letter. If you would like it included with the sketch letter, I should post
Can you
that.
talk into the microphone more?
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. Thank you.
What was your question?
Would you like the drawing diagram that you did with the parking arrows and the conflict zones included with the sketch letter?
I think so, yes.
Okay, we can include that as well. We request a comparison with other Chick-fil-A locations with similar indoor dining square footages to compare the number of employees on site during peak hours, number of parking spaces, since they are looking, they're showing a significant amount of parking, considering active transportation storage, including bike racks, providing updated information, anything that changes between the sketch and the preliminary final, indicating parking calculations based on having sufficient parking for employees during construction, indicating where delivery or takeout food orders will be handled on site, and considering looking at the architectural design that the board favors designs that have multiple materials, colors, ornamentation, massing, varied roof lines, and provided several other Chick-fil-A locations as reference in this sketch letter.
So I don't have any other questions. We've gone back and forth. You have anything to add to the sketch letter?
Okay.
AJ?
Yeah, no, I'm,
So I move to
send it.
finalize and send to the applicant along with the graphics.
Okay, will do.
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
All right, sketch plan number 2 was 100 Parker Hill Drive. The sort of mixed-use commercial as part of Panorama Park. We have a sketch letter drafted for that. I think the biggest comments that we had in that sketch letter was an engineer's report with some of any shared parking credits if they're applied, including any changes and updates and information based on prospective tenants and modifications that may be required in the project, specifically looking at lot coverage for that one. And
It would also affect architectural details.
Yes. Yep. And setbacks to Parker Hill Drive should be identified and shown on the plan, because they may, as they show on the current plan, may require variances in any future rendition.
Okay, anybody have any other additions or concerns with the letter for that?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, somebody want to move to send it?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to send the letter.
Second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
All right, on to the tabled public hearing applications. Tabled public hearing application 1, 1990 Brandt Point Drive, the expansion for the Walmart. We did receive responses to comments earlier today. I did provide it in your packet there. One of the biggest comments that came, or the biggest public comments that came out of the public hearing was regarding the wall behind Walmart. So originally, as part of the rezoning from residential to general business to support the expansion of Baytown Plaza, there was a condition to provide a berm, and on top of the berm, an 8-foot decorative concrete fence along the length between the residential and commercial properties, mostly for sound and sight attenuation. In February of 2020, DeMarco, on behalf of themselves and Walmart, came back to the town board, since it was originally a condition of the rezoning, to request to not complete the full length of the fence. The berm was installed higher than what was originally designed on the approved plans for the expansion, high enough that it exceeds the height that it would have been with the berm and the fence in the first place. The town board did grant that request on the condition that the monies from the fence would go to other improvements within Baytown Plaza. They're currently doing some pedestrian upgrades in the main plaza area along the street of shops, and they use part of the funds to widen the sidewalks in the development. So that approval was granted back then. The applicant did provide in their response that they would look to do striping and signage to prevent people from unintentionally going behind the Walmart building, since the expansion is sort of on the rear of the north side of the building.
So I'd like to kind of poll the board, and maybe Doug, you and Mike, get your opinion on asking them to come back with a conceptual plan acknowledging that the tall berm provides a noise buffer and a visual buffer, but not a security buffer, and that the north end of that buffer it's been testified that that's a location where people have been known to creep into the backyards of the neighbors whose properties abut this parcel. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Seems to be a big issue for that neighborhood, so just to give people some peace of mind.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the right approach is. I think if we decide to ask them for something, I think maybe we ask them for one or two different concepts. It would look odd to have a CMU wall that just dies into the berm. So maybe another type of security fencing that can blend into the berm? I don't know.
I mean, that area is fairly heavily wooded. The berm itself, I think, is about a 1-on-2 slope. You can't mow it. They have a erosion mix on the side to keep the slope stable. But it's fairly, I believe it's about 35 feet high, and is relatively steep. So crossing it isn't necessarily easy.
But
And I'm not
it has been done. You know, we have had neighbors testify that they've had people running into their backyard after stealing stuff from Walmart, essentially, right?
So it's really down at the, right there where the cursor is. So, you know, they're an excellent firm. I'm sure they could come up with something that might solve the problems for the neighbors and might not be visually unappealing in that location. What do you think, Mike?
You're the board.
Yes, we are. What do you think?
I think the hill is a fairly good deterrent. Is trying to climb it. It's pretty thick with vegetation. There's a thick, dense wooded area behind it. So you got to go up the berm, down the berm, and then through the woods. I think if anybody was trying to leave Walmart, they would be going down Brandt Point Drive and then down Seabury. So I don't know how, but that's my opinion. So they'd be going out of Walmart, and how is Walmart responsible for anybody going down Brandt Point Drive?
I suppose that the responsibility lies in the fact that this was a condition of approval of the original application.
Right.
And then they ended up deviating from that, and this is perhaps an unintended consequence of the deviation. And it appears
Right.
that you did get a chance to look at this, and the neighbors were not notified of the change that was approved by the town board. So,
correct.
so I think in all fairness to the community, I think it doesn't hurt to ask them to come up with some
I would agree with that.
solutions.
If we could ask them for some
So
suggestions.
that was obviously a condition in the zoning change, but was that possibly also a condition in any planning board approval to have the decorative?
I believe it was.
I believe it was.
It was
Yeah.
in the planning board's finding statement that they included. I mean, they included it in the finding statement. They included it, I believe, as a condition in the resolution. I have to go back and look at the resolution to see specifically, and I don't know if we just referenced what was in a town board resolution or if we referenced it directly in the planning board resolution back in
Go ahead.
2012.
Right.
Well, just because that would be another basis to require it, because they didn't get relief if it was from one of our conditions, as opposed to the town board, you know, on the zoning, the rezoning, but,
Yeah.
so we should look into that.
I know people that live in that community, and I recall during that planning board approval process, having neighbors come up and address that during that process.
Correct.
I mean, I remember it was talked about as part of the seeker also, as far as the noise attenuation also, but, you know.
Well, and they probably assume and maybe are effectively eliminating the noise with the berm. The issue that we're talking about is a security issue, which
That was also,
they never even really got an opportunity to share that with the town board.
So,
And does the town board have the authority to override a condition of the planning board? And that's why you're asking that question.
I don't think they do, but they do have the ability to change their own condition on their
Right.
rezoning.
Right.
Which they did.
I think it's worth asking.
Yeah. I think perhaps
you know,
asking them to come up
this
with some
happened,
potential.
we understand you got this waiver from the town board.
Yeah.
But here's the situation. The neighbors expected this. They didn't end up with that. And they've expressed that they've had problems.
So
What do you suggest?
ask them to come up with a resolution and ask them to come up with two options that the board could consider
Mm-hmm.
and that could be shared with the community.
I agree.
Okay.
So do we want to table this pending that? But then
Well, this was Terry's
yeah, but
case, so
somebody needs to move to table it anyway.
okay, so moved.
I'll second.
The only other, before we vote on this, just a little more discussion in terms of the submittals. You know, I suppose I'd like to say in that tabling resolution that this information came back from the applicant today. So none of us have had an opportunity to review it. So
Okay.
we,
Additional time to review.
that's a
submitted materials.
fair request. Okay, we can go to vote.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
Okay. Tabled public hearing application number 2, 1693 Salt Road, the two-lot subdivision. So we know the engineer on the project has been in discussion with Andy Sevegas in the Building and Zoning Department. They did provide revised plans that satisfy zoning that no variances would be necessary for the home and the garage as shown. They did make a modification to satisfy
Okay.
the zoning conditions. Staff is currently reviewing, engineering has the revised plans. I don't think we have any substantial comments left on it. The last major item is we did make the applicant aware. There is no additional addresses at that location. So the private drive does meet our standards, town standards for a private drive. They'll have to do a county 911 application for a road name for the private drive to gain additional addresses.
Okay. And other than that, there's no concerns. We have a draft approval resolution
Draft approval
all set to go.
resolution Completed, seeker.
Anybody have any other comments or questions? Everybody good with this?
Yep.
Okay. Can we entertain a motion to sign the environmental assessment form?
Yeah, sure. Motion to sign the environmental assessment form.
Second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
Okay. And then we can go ahead and approve the resolution.
Sure. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
Okay.
Okay. We have an action item.
We have one miscellaneous item. So we received a plat map to merge two lots together. 1700 Baird Road, which we've seen previously, purchased the property the owners purchased the property directly to the east. It was formerly owned by the school district. They're looking to merge the two properties into one. We reviewed the request. Staff doesn't have any concerns with the resubdivision and reducing the number of lots. Overall, it's a type 2 action for seeker, so we just need a simple vote.
Make a nice lot.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
So where's is it the 58 acres or 57 acres that they're adding?
Yep.
Small little
Well, I think it's
parcel.
57 overall. I believe it's 30-something on the school district, the former school district property, and then they have 17 and change,
On their
I
own.
believe, if I remember that correct. 19, okay. So,
This was auctioned off. Wow.
so
Okay.
they'll be creating a 58-acre parcel by merging the two together.
Anybody have any issues?
No.
Somebody want to move to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Aken,
Aken, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
All right. Anything else?
Everything I had for you tonight.
Wow. Nice, fast meeting.
Quick one.
Thanks, everybody. With that, we will adjourn.